planet to run around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth. No, I don't want to be humble now. You doubted me, nothing to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about.
Oh, background. I screwed it up.
Yeah, what happened there?
There we go. This should
There we go. Bingo. We're back.
Yeah, but that's the light one. I like that one.
Oh, yeah. The other one was really bright.
Yeah, I put a. So if anybody wants to know how this stuff works,
say we could also get
it's
some
cool.
feedback.
We use StreamYard, which is an amazing program. And that Matt Souza from the Savon podcast and owner of CrossFit Livermore turned us on. He actually set me up with everything with the soundboard, the mixer board that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go into StreamYard, it's so easy to use, and you create backgrounds, that little loop that we play at the beginning of the video,
the banners.
Yeah, this thing that we show, that all of that, it's just like point and click, the banners, everything. It's like literally comments. If we want to show comments, we just go click comments. And
it's very intuitive.
Yeah, so I can change the background. That's the bright one. I realize that like punches you in the face.
It's pretty bright.
So, but you create these things on Canva or on, I use Pixlr, Pixlr, and to create this stuff, and then you just throw it into StreamYard, and then you got it. It's like an inventory that you can play with.
Yeah.
And what's cool too is, so then we choose all the different outlets that we want to broadcast to, right? So that we can go live.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can also, it records it, it saves it.
So if we want to upload it somewhere else, we can.
Right. Which I'm working on doing the Apple. We're going to show up on Apple Podcasts soon.
Sweet.
All of that stuff just takes time. And the podcast for us is fun, and I'm enjoying doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give it too much time. It's not a revenue generating thing. It's more of a give back to our community.
A give back and a chance to kind of share. I mean, well, which is, I guess, part of the give back is sharing the experience.
Sharing with the affiliates.
Yeah.
Especially with the affiliates. And then I also want to kind of give some insight to the CrossFit world as to what it's like for, doing programming.
Yep.
And working with other affiliates and running our affiliate, which is really just, it's a small business. So that's a whole nother subject. I think we can get into that next week about why we still qualify as a small business. I shop for a file cabinet on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Like if we were, if this was Orange Theory, Barry's Boot Camp, I'd just go requisition it, and I'd have 1,000 cabinets, all that look the same.
Multiple locations, set up wherever.
15 years into this, and I'd like to think we're pretty well established. And I'm still shopping for fucking file cabinets on Craigslist.
Marketplace.
Dude, I'm negotiating. I'm going to their houses, and I'm getting.
Oh, there's a dent here. Let me give it a knock up.
The other day, no, get this one, dude. I was leaving my neighborhood, and for like 2 or 3 days in a row, I saw this wall shelf, this thing that attaches the wall out in front of my neighbor's house. I'm like, that's a pretty cool wall shelf. They're getting ready, they put it out for free to give away for free. It had been rained on and everything. And finally, I'm just like, I need something to hold that computer against that wall. And I drove my truck over there, the Diablo truck, a little embarrassed, but I pulled up and I threw it in there.
Hey, no need to be embarrassed. It's just humbled, right?
But listen, every affiliate owner that's out, if there are any affiliate owners watching this, any affiliate owner out there is watching this, oh yeah, I get that. Totally do that.
There's also something nice about that is you're reusing something versus buying something new and then throwing more stuff in a landfill.
Yeah, but there's nothing worse than spending a ton of money on something.
That's true.
And then 2 years from now, you're not using it anymore.
That's happened a few times.
Oh, that has happened a few times. Big pieces of equipment or single-use pieces of equipment, like a GHD or a reverse hyper or
giant crash pad
or giant. Oh,
sorry. It's still there. We're actually going to be using it next month.
There's about 10 things out in the gym. We can walk around and just go, oh, shit, how much did that cost? And it gets used once every 3 weeks.
That just
by one person.
The floor plans too. It's like, oh man, this would be such great use. But at the same time, all the GHDs, they don't get used as much in classes, but they're great
so awesome.
Pieces of equipment.
They really are. And I do we are using it in our RX Plus class, and we're using it in our Masters RX Plus class.
Especially for open gymmers. Right.
Yep. We'll get into that. We got to get onto our other topics, but that's a whole podcast we could do.
Note that.
Have a lot of fun. on that stuff. Yes, and Diablo 15 years in, we still go through the same machinations as you do.
That's part of the Kaizen.
It is. It's kind of continuous improvement every day walking in. Related to that, I don't want to get way off topic, but the CrossFit book, if you don't follow the CrossFit,
they are good
at the CrossFit book on Instagram, follow it, because it's really kind of the OG Glassman stuff. And they reposted, which I can't believe they found it, because I was there at that event. It was an affiliate gathering in Austin, Texas. And he was asked,
was that the five buckets?
No, not 5 buckets, but that's on there too, which is amazing.
Yep.
But he talked about, he was talking to affiliate owners. Someone asked him, hey, how do I become a successful affiliate? What's the keys to success for an affiliate? And he said in it, pursue excellence every single day. Every day you walk in, pursue excellence. And when I was there, I took that to heart. The other thing that he said there was run really good classes. What is excellence? He said clean bathrooms, run really good classes. And I took those to heart. And those really are kind of tenets of Diablo CrossFit. And it should be for any affiliate. Just every day think about, and I know affiliate owners that walk in and they look at shit and they're like, oh, I got to fix that. I got to improve that. And that is what drives a successful affiliate as well.
Yeah.
But more so than that is following through on those things when you see them.
Yeah. Not start it and leave it halfway done and then come back.
Nope. Get it better every day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
So, so the one thing I did want to talk about, speaking of getting better every day, was getting yourself better every day, especially as we get through the holidays here. I thought about this topic I sent out on my email was creating a new identity for yourself in order to create new habits, or not create new habits, but to stick to habits that you create, healthy habits that you create, especially during the holidays. It's tough. You break down, we're inundated with requests to go to parties, treats that come in,
a lot of treats
come in, a lot of baked goods. And while I'm not suggesting that, we, completely abstain from all of those things, because I partake, it's simply making sure that we remain true to our vision and our goals and our habits that we've set for ourselves to keep us healthy and fit. It's easier, I think, compared to the ultimate comparison is to a CrossFit Games athlete who, and I know, again, they do the same thing. They'll indulge as well, but they've got identities. And I think in particular, Alessandra Pacelli, because she's here at Diablo. And I think about her through the CrossFit. She just retired, but through the CrossFit Games seasons, she is and was a CrossFit Games athlete and identified it as that. And as such, she had a routine that was wrapped around that. In terms of her nutrition, in terms of her training, in terms of her
rest,
and sleep and recovery, all of that was part of that identity. And her identity was validated by the people that are around her that saw her as a CrossFit Games athlete. It was validated by social media that identified her as that, by media coverage of her, and so it was.
And even just participating in the games that she had participated in, like that's validation right there.
Well, yeah. So it's right. So all of it, but that helps reinforce behavior. And then as she's faced with temptation, right, it's easier to avoid those things. And everyone around her knows, well, of course, Sandra's not going to drink at the party tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Sandra's a CrossFit Games athlete.
Yeah. She's got to be training tomorrow.
Yeah.
She's got double day.
Yeah. That's her identity.
Yeah.
And we can leverage that. My point, my email was, it's, and I think a lot of experts say this, and it was in a Huberman podcast with, who is he with? Oh, it was with Lane Norton. I published it. And if you haven't listened to this podcast, please listen to this podcast, Huberman podcast with Lane Norton. The guy's PhD, but he talks about eating, nutrition, all of that. And it's a deep dive science, and it's all backed by a substantial amount of data and scientific studies. But he talked about, the challenges of someone that's excessively overweight, obese, and then trying to lose weight. And he said, he talked about the psychology of it. He gets into the science of it, of course, and calorie deficit and all of that stuff, and moving, and really fascinating stuff on the ways to lose weight. But then he talks about the most difficult part, which is the psychology of it. And one of the things that he found through a recent study he talked about was that people had to essentially divorce their previous identities. Or in the case of, he talks about one guy, an actor, Ethan Suplee. And if you Google Ethan Suplee, Suplee, you'll immediately recognize him. He was in a few movies, Revenge of the Titans, and then I think Malcolm X. He weighed 550 pounds. But if you go to his Instagram now, the guy's like 230, jacked. And in an interview with him, they said that he said in the interview that he had to essentially develop a new identity. And if you look at his Instagram posts, it starts with his Instagram post of him exercising and eating right. He talks about, or he starts it with a quote called that says, "I killed my clone today."
Yeah.
And which took me back to a podcast that Savon did.
It was a whole series.
CrossFit. Yeah, it's a whole series.
That was a whole series.
It's
multiple series.
Yeah, multiple series, like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
And then he's coming back here. He's revisiting it again, I think, with Gary Roberts, who was a CrossFit employee at the time. And they got him to do CrossFit and then documented his life change. And it's called
Killing the Fat Man. Yep.
Killing the Fat Man.
Yeah.
And again, it revolves around that whole. And I thought of this, since I listened to the Human podcast and have thought about this a lot. David Goggins also talks about it too.
Yeah,
he had to kill his former identity.
That's a really good point. Yeah,
yeah, and it's essentially taking on a new identity in order to maintain healthy habits, and which includes. And here's the hard part. And I know this to be true. And everybody will tell you this, especially alcoholics, drug addicts. You got to find new friends.
Yeah,
your friends and. Even worse, what's most difficult is your family.
Yeah, it's your environment.
Yeah, if they like you for and love you for who you are, which
may not be who you want to be.
That's right.
Right.
And the other thing is that change, especially improvements in your health, you start looking better, start feeling better, start doing things, start eating better, makes other people around you feel a certain amount of insecurity.
Yeah.
And we've all been there. If anybody's been there to a party where and everybody's drinking, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to drink for whatever reason you don't drink. People will give you excuses as to why they're drinking.
Yeah.
And I've probably done it somewhere. Well, and ordinarily I don't drink either, but here's one
today.
Right. And it's that guilt to, and you have you don't have, everybody has cake and you don't have a piece of cake because you're gluten intolerant. And all of a sudden everybody talks about, well, yeah, today I'm having cake today, but I don't ever have cake. Like I'm going to regret this tomorrow. And they create excuses because they feel self-conscious about what they're doing. They feel judged.
They know it's not ideal.
Right.
But they're going to do it anyways.
So which essentially and if you're a compassionate individual, and you love your family and friends, which most of us do, then you feel a sense of guilt for being healthy and fit and having healthy habits.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier to violate those habits or to break those habits.
Yeah.
And so you essentially have to create create a new identity, maybe find new friends, go to different places.
Yeah. And I mean, like surrounding is definitely a big factor as far as like, your environment, you're going to fuel off, whether it's a positive environment
right
or a negative environment. And fitness is a journey, and we're all going through our own individual journees. Yep. And
it's not a straight line. It's not linear.
Exactly. It's not linear. I mean, I always look at myself as like I'm periodizing my life, right? So I've had my games years, right? I've had the chance and opportunity to compete at the games through Diablo CrossFit's team, and in the last 5 years, my identity shifted. I'm no longer a games athlete. Now I'm a father, right? Yeah. Like that has, I mean, I know a lot of other people have gone through the same identity issues. I mean, that's the whole concept of the dad bod.
Back to Alessandra Pacelli.
Exactly,
that's what she's not struggling with, but she's working on right now, is finding that new identity.
Yeah.
And it's, revolving around, workouts. She'll work out a lot of times by herself, not just because she doesn't want the pressure of like having to win, or having to scale up everything. That's
a new identity that she's developing. Absolutely, yeah.
but it is fascinating. And we all go through it, but if you're trying to make a massive change, meaning you want to go from being, severely obese or maybe you're, addicted to alcohol or addicted to drugs and you want to make change, you will need a new supportive community. And that's one of the awesome things about CrossFit.
Yes.
Is that you can find that in a CrossFit affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
And we get members in here that come in and they make, we got a group of guys now. There's 3 or 4 of them, Jared, Chris, David Marin, Scott. I can't remember Scott's last name. But they've all lost like anywhere from 30 to 40 pounds. It's remarkable. And they're all in the morning classes. Yeah. And they've got this almost kind of this support network together where they're losing weight. And I'd love to, as an affiliate owner, to take credit for that, right? To post, hey, look at what these guys have done. But it's really not. It's the support. It was certainly, I
don't know if it's a matter of taking credit, but there's still a benefit in celebrating.
Well, that's
right.
True.
Like
that's true.
You get to celebrate it because they did the work, essentially.
Yeah, they did the work. We provided an environment, an amazing environment, and then from there, the community grew. This amazingly positive community, supportive community, and these guys have made these changes. Lots of our members have.
They essentially made the change or the effort to be a part of this environment, which, at the same time, when you want to make those adjustments, like if you're heavily overweight, you need to step back and audit yourself and see what things are contributing to this unhealthy habit and what can you do to make it better. And joining an affiliate would be one way to make it better.
That's right. And so if you're struggling to make those nutritional those challenges or those nutritional changes or maintain your workouts and daily walks and those things, you may need to kill your clone.
That's a really good way to kind of talk to yourself through that, right?
Sure.
Having that positive affirmations there.
Yeah. And you're going to, and by the way, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You're going to fail multiple times.
Expect to fail.
Yeah. Expect to fail.
Expect to fail and then learn out of that failure. It's
just like a workout here. Yeah. It's just like yesterday's workout that I did for Masters RX. I failed miserably. And I literally thought.
I heard you thought it was 4 rounds though.
Yeah, I did. Damn it. And I punched it in the 5 o'clock and I thought it was 4 rounds. And the other thing is I thought I literally was confident going to that workout. I did because it was involved front rack carries, long 100-meter front rack carries with the dumbbells. And
after some power cleans.
And I thought, no problem. This is my workout because you accumulated as many meters as possible on the C2 bike. And I'm pretty good at the C2 bike. Mm-hmm. I got smashed.
Still got to get to the C2 bike.
Oh my God. And I didn't make it to the C2 bike on the last round. But anyway, it was like I failed yesterday. But I got, but I learned. That's something Yvonne always says. If you're not winning, you're learning.
You should be learning.
And it's the same thing, I think, with nutrition. I think people look at it the wrong way. They look at failure like, fuck it. And then they overindulge after. They go, I can't. No. If you failed, and you eat poorly or you drink too much or whatever you do, if you fall off the rails on your healthy habits, examine why it happened, evaluate it, and move on, and then don't repeat it. Right? Take the variables out of it that caused you to be there, learn from it. Anyway, enough of that. What else we were going to talk about we should get into, I guess, sleep.
It kind of works with the identity.
Yeah, it kind of works with it, but somewhat related to, obviously very related to sleep, but kind of what brought up the subject was that I bought a new $2,500
oh shit
sleep mattress called 8 Sleep, and I looked at all of them, but it provides heating and cooling for your mattress. It's a cover that goes on. It's got a box that sits next to the bed that operates really quietly, and it basically circulates water. That is I
was going to ask, is it water that's running through? So there's also a little bit of, it's underneath, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it's in a container that's next to the bed, and then it circulates through hoses that connect to that cover. And it's really quiet. And what you do is you set the temperatures. So when you get into bed, it's a little warmer, and then it cools down as you get into deeper sleep. And then in the morning, it warms up to wake you and make it more
easier to get out of bed.
Yeah. Although I would argue, since I've set it up and I set those temperatures, I don't know that it's easier to get out of bed right now because it's so cold outside and that bed just has gotten warm. I'm like,
should almost just let it stay cold.
Yeah.
So then you get out of bed, it's like, oh God, I
just
can
make it
start get your body moving.
Make it really uncomfortable. Really, just get a good damn. I gotta get out of bed. I'm gonna freeze to death. But you know, we were talking about, Jamie and I were talking about the need for sleep and the importance of sleep and recovery, and he hasn't had good sleep for a year and a half, 2 years.
Like I said, the identity thing. I'm a dad, and it's just like the sleep has just been challenging.
Right.
And there's not enough hours in the day.
Right. But I will tell you that I'm focusing on it because it's same thing for the last year and a half. I haven't had really good sleep, and every podcast that I'm listening to, at some point in time, they cover the topic of sleep. Matthew Walker's the guy's the big sleep guru, and of course, you know, everybody knows who all the podcasters that I listen to, Peter Attia, what's his name, Huberman, and then Ronna Patrick. They all know Matthew Walker. They're all friends.
Yeah,
and they all talk about it, how important sleep is to recovery, and it is.
It's like the number one thing you can do that's essentially free to improve your performance.
Yeah, improve performance,
your wellness.
Not only that, manage insulin resistance, all of that. Like, it helps all of it.
There's a lot of benefits.
There's a ton of benefits, and of course, if you're training too, and training for any type of events, like the sleep is where recovery happens. It's where muscle building happens. It's
why
where
Matt Fraser was bringing a freaking mattress into every competition.
Yeah, right. That's right. I remember that.
Another good example.
He actually had a mattress shipped to the event so he could get good sleep.
That was one of the things Kelly Starrett also said. You know, if you asked, who was it? It was like the London Reel. Asked like, what are the two things that you would tell your younger self to do to improve your wellness, fitness, performance, whatever? It was sleep and more water. Those two concepts is
and
unlocks a whole lot of stuff.
And as we get older, I'm 59, but as we get older, sleep sleep does become more challenging. I was a very good sleeper when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, it's a little stuff gets on your mind.
You're just a light sleeper and wake
up.
Yeah,
I'm a very light sleeper. I wake up multiple times in the night. So I'm working on it anyway. I got this 8 sleep thing to work on it, and
we'll check in another month.
Yeah, no, but it was one of the things too that because I do the Wild Health, I have into the physician coaching for proactive healthcare. And one of the things on there was better sleep. Mm-hmm. So, and what's cool is the 8 sleep, and there's another one out. There's a couple of others out there, but you can look at the 8 sleep. It comes with a sleep monitor. Of course, the Whoop does it. And
does it tie in with the?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it doesn't tie in with the Whoop. It ties. Okay. It just gives it on the app. It tells you how many hours.
Got it.
How many hours you're in bed, how many hours you sleep, and the different stages of sleep that you had. Gives heart rate. So made it amazing. Picks it up through that cover. I don't. It's pretty fascinating.
Pick up. I mean, do you wear a Whoop?
No.
Okay. So
no. It's just because you're laying on the cover.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's fascinating as hell.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm looking at it. I'm trying to dial in the temperatures, and I really want to get to where I'm sleeping consistently 7 to 8 hours a night.
It's a good target.
Yeah. I'm right now like I'm 5 to 7 and more closer to the 5. So
that's nice.
Yeah. And Yvonne tells me apparently I need to stop snoring. I had no idea I snore. And I will not wear
sleeping longer will essentially.
So I'm going to do a couple things. One, I got this cooling thing so that because I'm a hot sleeper. So I wake up sweaty. Right now it's cold. So it's a little less likely. But in the summertime, it's just so miserable.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I'm going to do is, and again, this is back to the identity thing. I've let myself start eating later. And so I'm like last night, I think I had a bowl of fruit at 9:30. I had a crappy night's sleep. And I think and I thought about it this morning on my run. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And that won't help with the snoring either.
No, it won't. No. So I'm going to start because for the first part of this year, I was really good about stopping eating at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to get back to that because I need to sleep better.
Yeah.
Anyway,
especially as we get in towards the open.
Yeah, and I'm just I'm tackling it like it's a weakness, and I need to improve that weakness.
It's like double unders or handstand push-ups.
Yep. So
look at sleep as somewhat of a skill.
Yeah, it is. It really is in a lot of ways. Anyway, we got to practice. Cool thing,
Super.
I don't want to name drop, but I'm going to name drop. Dave Castro texted me last week. And like it was on Tuesday, I think. It wasn't even like he said, "Hey, we got to
came fast."
Yeah, I know. He said we got to deal with Spartan to do an event at Oracle Park, which for us is where the San Francisco Giants play baseball. Beautiful park.
Mm-hmm.
And Spartan does this. They do these stadium stadium events. They're really cool, and they put obstacles in a tight environment, and then you run around the stadium, that kind of stuff. And you end up going 5K.
Mm-hmm.
So 2.5 miles
with, I'm sure, a lot of ascending with some bleachers.
Yeah, bleachers and obstacles. And he got them to put in ring muscle ups.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's but anyway, they're partnering with Spartan to do this event. What here's really cool is that it's free if you're an affiliate member.
That's amazing.
So your affiliate owner should have gotten an email from their regional rep, probably that gave them a link to. If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I imagine there's going to be other events around the country now tied into it, depending upon how successful this one is. And I would encourage all local affiliates, get your members involved. Mm-hmm. It's December 3rd. It's free. It'll be a lot of fun. We've already got a bunch of our members already planning the event, and we're going to put a team together. But I like this idea of partnering with Spartan. Those guys know how to run events. Mm-hmm. But it's a great way to get members of our community that ordinarily wouldn't do a CrossFit competition participating, because a lot of them have done Spartan events, and Spartan seems less intimidating. And then they can go over there and it's free.
Yeah. I think that's the really cool part about the whole thing is like Spartan races aren't necessarily a cheap event to do.
No.
I mean, you're looking at
hundreds of dollars,
$200 minimum for like one of the sprint races.
Yeah.
And for them to partner up with CrossFit, I mean, this is the first time CrossFit has ever partnered up with any other sporting entity, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of a big deal. And I think this is a great way, I mean, for CrossFit to also put an effort into bringing the community together outside of, the open. It's more of an in-person type of environment, right? Like you get to see faces and not just compete with somebody in another gym elsewhere. You get to have fun and race each other.
Yeah, it'll be a great event. So
it's going to be a great event, I'm sure. I just wish they give us more time.
Yeah, I know.
Date was not ideal.
No, we had to move our teen trials competition. Competition was scheduled for December 3rd. So we moved that to January so that we could allow our members and our teens to participate in the Spartan event.
My whole thought, we've talked about this beforehand, was just I love the fact that CrossFit's taken the effort to bring the community together, especially through something like a Spartan race.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't really feel great competing against CrossFit to try to get a teen event going. No. I mean, the whole idea why we started the teen trials was to bring the community together, bring kids together, give them a chance to compete in person.
That's right.
Here's an opportunity for them to do the same thing with the same community.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and we'll and the teens will have their day in January 22nd for our teen trials. We got our turkey ruck coming up this week on the 24th.
Speaking of obstacle races,
if you're an affiliate, you can still participate. Yes. Just find a park, invite your members out. It's really easy.
I ran our route yesterday just to make sure everything was good. I ran into a ton of people. I was trying to film each movement pattern and the route, but there was a ton of people out taking pictures. There's a lot of photographers out there. Oh, so kind of threw off my plan as far as like setting it out and sharing a video. But yeah, no, it's not too late. Just get out, go for a run, feel out what route's going to be good, and throw a bag on your back. Yeah.
And and by the way, another event for affiliates that if you want to participate in for your community is the 100,000 meter challenge. It's 100kmc.com. They donate all the proceeds. It's $10 to sign up for your members. You can create a gym team, and they have to accumulate 100,000 meters in any way: walking, running, biking, swimming. Everything's weighted. So swimming obviously has a 4-to-1 ratio versus the rower
or a bike.
Yeah, bike. And so but our members get together for movie nights, movie mornings, those kinds of things.
Did the team?
I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause because I need to run to the restroom.
Okay.
We haven't done this before. You talk.
Got it. All right, guys. So what should we talk about? Let's talk about our programming. So PRs all day, progressive programming. We are going to be going into our new month starting in December 1st. We're going to hit our primary. So this last month of November, we've had a primary strength of front squats, which was a carryover from last month's front squat, tempo pause squat. This month, we're essentially building up to a 1 rep max, which is going to be next week. This week, we are going to have a deload session for our deadlift. So deadlift was our secondary strength for this month. And going into the deload this week, next week, we're going to start off with our last final primary progression for deadlift, building to a 1 rep max at the end of the year. That's probably been one of my favorite progressions, especially at the end of the year where we get a chance to really focus on developing some raw strength and raw power through that pattern. As we get into this next month, we will see a drop in our overall volume with the deadlifts, but we're going to see a much higher intensity and it's going to build up faster than we did in this month. So look forward to next month. If you are following the progressive programming's workout of the day or daily workout, that's going to be something that's coming up in the near future. As far as our skill goes, this month has been a big month of skills with our handstand holds and working on a freestanding handstand hold. And reason why we're working with the handstand hold is really to develop that inverted position and comfort and consistency in that inverted position as we progress into our next month with the January, we're going to be working on a handstand push-up at the same time working with the rope climb. Now, when we think about these two patterns, the handstand push-ups and the rope climbs, it's a push-pull. So this month we've had some time to work on developing that handstand hold while at the same time developing, I just switched over to the camera. So just to kind of wrap this up, when we were talking about our handstand hold progressions, this next month, we had a whole bunch of EMOMs that worked into it. Next month, we're going to be going into handstand push-ups, kind of emphasizing the skill aspect while also integrating some rope climbs. Now, we've got some neurological adaptations going on with the kipping aspect for our skill, but then we're going to go into more of a physiological adaptation with more strength and strict patterns from a strict handstand push-up and progressing to a wall-facing handstand push-up, which if you weren't watching last year, Adrian Bosman's wall-facing deficit, that is coming. I'm just going to throw it out there. That we will see that in an online format, maybe not deficit, but we will see a wall-facing handstand push-up. And my prediction is going to be in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. What's good about that, I think, for online competition, it's easy to judge.
It's easy to judge, but
you can put a camera up too, and you can see it on camera.
I mean, think of the standards that we've been through with handstand push-ups. Yeah. You got to measure your arm overhead. Like, no, let's just lock out with a full extension. But the whole concept of the handstand push-up, like Boz said, and I don't know if you've watched that one video, we're not trying to bounce off our head. We're trying to improve. So his goal was to make handstand push-ups great again. And I think the wall facing, and I've been practicing and working that into my progressions and programming for individuals for a long time. Now is going to work our way into the affiliates.
Yeah. And that's cool.
Yeah.
It's an amazing movement. I'm glad I'm turning 60 in the next category, because I doubt that the 60-year-olds will have to do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you might get like a marker or an abnett.
Maybe a semifinals or something if I get that far.
I honestly think we'll see it in the quarterfinal. Yeah. Maybe not this year, but in the next year or two.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to bring everybody up.
Yeah, I mean, look at the previous. I mean, throughout the whole CrossFit Games, the life of the CrossFit Games, you see something at the games and it's trickled down towards the open at some point or another. Handstand walks, strict handstand push-ups. That's all started at the games.
We do these progressions at Diablo with the, because of the, we follow PRsAllDay programming. And as a coach, it's somewhat of a pain in the ass to take members through these progressions. And you can see they don't, like when it comes up, there's no excitement to start them. but there's excitement afterwards, and there's excitement when there's progress, and everybody, when they get done with the progressions that we do that take like 15 minutes to get through them.
Yeah.
In a typical class, we do it. It's once a week right now because of the cycle we're on. When they get done with it, they're pumped. They're like, that was awesome. And everybody says the same thing. I wouldn't do this on my own.
And you know what else is great? Like you said, people aren't excited when they go into it unless they've been through some of these progressions in the past and they've had success with it.
Yeah,
and then they're like, oh, we get to work on handstand push-ups. Hands. Now I can finally get past that hurdle.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to.
Anyway, that's good. The leading into that, just one of the things I posted in my email was the podcast that CrossFit Games did. And if you didn't get it, because the new rule book's out, which is the first time it's out this soon, and I really appreciate the early release, but I also appreciate what seems like an increased attention to the details that over the long run improve the quality of the competition. And they're keenly interested in getting better every year. And one of the things, it was the interview was with, who was it with? It was Chase Ingram. And he did a great job. And it was a podcast with Becky Harsh.
That's right.
Who's Games Communications Director. But one of the things she said is, she goes, look, we're in this together. We, with the athletes, and they've got different levels of communication with the division athletes, the games athletes, to make sure that they're hearing everybody out. But it's a very good podcast. So it's the CrossFit Games latest podcast. I would listen to it if you're not going to read the rule book yourself, which reading the rule book is tedious.
It's tedious. And I mean, it's the details that as coaches and anybody that has it's coaching an athlete that's looking to be games bound. Yeah, you should do your homework.
Oh yeah. And Chase Ingram did that. And so he asked her the most poignant questions related to qualification and all of that stuff. And I didn't really want to talk about that here, since it's being talked about a lot. Everybody knows that what the new semifinals are. I'll be interested to see where those are going to be.
Yeah.
But what's cool is I listen, and the part that was most significant to me is how it affects the affiliates. Yeah. One of the great things is after
last year was
last year was took the affiliate manager out of the equation, and they said it was primarily related to pandemic, because a lot of athletes couldn't get into affiliates. A lot of affiliates weren't open, so they couldn't really approve scores like they could in the past, and that's understandable. So now they brought that back. So if you complete an open workout at an affiliate, it doesn't need to be video recorded. And the affiliate manager is the one that approves the score. You can have someone judge it that is not a certified CrossFit judge, although here at Diablo, and I would encourage other affiliates to do the same. Encourage your community, those that want to judge at your open event or judge open workouts that are held at your affiliate. Encourage them to get the certification. It's an easy certification. It's $10.
It's an easy certification, but it also serves as a kind of a quality check, right? Like, I mean, in class, and you hear this all the time when somebody's like, oh, so-and-so didn't hit depth, or so-and-so didn't do this. It's like, who cares? You're here for your workout. There's no judge.
Right.
But when we have judges, that's when we want to uphold the standards. Yes. And if you are running open heats, during the open season, you want to have judges out there that understand the rules, understand the standards, and it's only going to benefit them because they're also going to get better at their own standards.
Yeah. So the affiliate owner then puts their signature on it. There is an obligation here. Affiliate owner, the affiliate manager, or the person they appoint to approve the scores has to approve those scores before Wednesday, after the submission. So the submission's on Monday. So they do the work. The workout's
that's an extra day then, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is, because it used to be Tuesday. So the workout gets announced Thursday. They have until Monday 5 p.m. Pacific time to do the workout. The affiliate manager has until Wednesday at 5 p.m. to approve that score. If it doesn't get approved, it's gone. Now, Becky said there is and may be some recourse, especially for competition athletes, but for everyone else, it's probably gone.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to encourage your affiliate manager and affiliate owners, and you need to make sure that you're going in, that you put this on your schedule. And I've done this before where I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
did I do the scores? And because you get busy. You
might have started.
Well, you might have started, and
yeah.
then someone snuck in some athletes snuck in some score submissions on Monday at 4:00, and you hadn't approved those. Man, you need to have that. You need to be on that. Don't put yourself in a position where an athlete doesn't have a score because you didn't approve it.
And don't wait till Wednesday night.
Right.
Get it done Tuesday night.
I love that that if you want to do this without video, you do it at an affiliate. I love that.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you want to do it otherwise, or you want to do it at home or somewhere else, just videotape it, and then you have to submit the video, and that's the way it should be. The other thing that was interesting was teams. So the teams, the four athletes that are on a team, can come from anywhere, but they have to do all 3 of the open workouts at the affiliate itself.
Yeah, they can't do it remotely.
They can't do it remotely. They can't. So they can't do it somewhere else. They have to do it at the affiliate. That's cool.
That keeps it a little bit more like an affiliate cup.
It kind of, yeah. And look, I think what CrossFit wanted to do is, look, they're not going to bicker over like who lives 100 miles from the affiliate that lives, 100.
We've been through all that.
I can't even imagine the emails they were getting and the complaints. Like we used to complain about.
That was in 2012, 13.
Yeah, we used to complain about Tommy Hackenbrook's gym, CrossFit U, and the athletes that he had, and we were
they're like 300 miles away. What are you talking about?
We had the maps out, and we were trying to call about it. And it was and Tommy's a good friend.
Yeah.
And we look back on those times very fondly, but at the time we were obsessed about it. Yeah. And it's much ado about nothing, literally. And I love this solution: have the athletes do it at the affiliate. And problem solved. And get this, the other part is the community of that affiliate will love seeing those athletes do it. I mean, it's fun to watch high level athletes compete, and
it brings more fans to the sport.
It does bring more fans to the sport. I think it's cool. It's a great solution for this, and it makes it easy for the affiliates, and it makes it easier for CrossFit.
We talked about this a little bit last week, but when you think of like some of these training camps that are probably also hosting these athletes to do their open workouts, now they have to either get affiliated or go and
that'd be awesome.
Right?
Love to see them actually get an affiliate.
Affiliation. If they're competing for the open, whether they're on a team or not, well, I guess they would have to shoot a video.
They'd have to shoot a video,
yeah, which they're probably already doing anyways,
right?
So they can prove that they have the capacity to move on.
Each of the, and then what was the other thing related to affiliates that was interesting? That was the big one. Oh no, it was related to teams. Those teams athletes, so if you have those 4 athletes,
they're committed
to that,
which I love.
You cannot go back and forth.
There's no plan B if you're trying to go individual.
That's right,
which is great.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the better moves that they did.
Yeah, and I think again it's another one that makes their lives easier.
But even from a team, and I mean, I've been on a team at the games, and the games team isn't always the same team that you compete with at regionals. So here you're going to have at the games, you're going to have people that have cohesion and have been training and competing against others with each other. So it's really cool.
You can select six athletes to put in your team because you have 2 alternates, and the alternates can only be used in case of
backup.
Yeah, backup for emergency.
Yeah.
Or for injury.
Yeah.
So if someone gets injured, then that you can replace that.
Or it could be like the 6 or the 3 and 3.
But those 2 athletes that are your essentially alternates, they can't go indie.
No.
They're on that team too.
Yeah. I love it. There's full commitment there.
Yeah.
And I mean, my last year at the games with 2016, we had a team that had fully committed to go fully team. Yeah. Nobody went individual. And we had one of the better showings. We finished 9th overall. It was a cool experience to go into it and be through the whole season with the same crew.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
It's going to be a great season. We're already starting to think about how we're going to do Friday Night Lights, those types of things. Courage.
Are we doing a intramural?
I don't know. That's the one thing we got to decide is whether or not we do an intramural open.
I think after now the COVID is kind of passed through, and we didn't do it last couple of years because of COVID. This might be a good time to revamp it.
And it's 3 weeks. That makes
that
makes an intramural open much
What
easier to manage.
What if we did an intramural and then you get extra points if you have an athlete that moves on to the quarters? Because we're gonna have a bunch of people moving on to the quarters.
Yeah, we will, and then that makes that gives us the opportunity too to have a draft.
It's a highlight, to
have a draft, and then we can pick athletes.
Yeah,
so that's something to, as an affiliate owner, that I will tell you the years we've done intramural open, especially the first year we did it, was just epic.
Yeah,
the participation level within our community was awesome.
We even carried that intramural into the turkey trot.
Yeah, we did
with the teams, right?
That's right.
AM, midday, and PM.
Yeah. We did it with the turkey trot. With our intramural teams were the turkey trot teams.
Yeah, it was fun.
It is fun, and then and we give points not just for performance on the open, but we give points for participation for actually completing the open workouts, which encouraged. And then judging
was a big one.
The best one.
Oh,
you give points to the team, the intramural team. For the number of events that they judge or the number of athletes that they judge. So then it was a competition.
Worried about having judges. That's one way you could do it.
Yeah. If you're worried about judges, run an intramural open and give them credit for judging other athletes. You will have more judges than you know what to do with.
Yeah, you'll be happy. You'll have people fighting over judging.
Oh yeah. So that's what we got a lot to talk about next week.
Yeah.
We'll get into some of that stuff, but happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah, enjoy your turkey trot.
Yeah, enjoy your turkey trot, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
See you guys.